Jamaica's political showdown. PNP's Portia initiative versus JLP's power play. Mark Golding's bold promises. Can the PNP really deliver for Jamaica? Peter Phillips calls out PM Holness. Is Jamaica's democracy at risk? Vybz Kartel just made a move that could change Jamaica's political future forever. But what does his surprising return mean for the PNP? And is Jamaica about to see a major shift in power? Hey, patriotic internet friends and family, welcome back to the channel. In this video, Vybz Kartel shakes up Jamaican politics with a surprise appearance at the PNP conference, fueling a political firestorm as former opposition leader Peter Phillips calls out the Prime Minister for playing election games. And Mark Golding unveils a bold plan to transform Jamaica's future. The stakes couldn't be higher, but will Kartel's return and the PNP's promises be enough to turn the tide? Stick around to find out. Welcome all patriotic Jamaicans. The movement continues. Make we get into it now. Let's kick it off. Why Peter Phillips thinks PM Holness is playing games with Jamaica's future. Enter Dr. Peter Phillips, a by-election showdown. As if Kartel wasn't enough drama for one day, former opposition leader Dr. Peter Phillips delivers a fiery speech calling the by-elections a sideshow. Ouch. But it's more than political theater. He's calling out Prime Minister Andrew Holness for playing favorites, holding by-elections only where it suits his agenda. Phillips doesn't hold back, calling it disrespect for the Jamaican people. Shots fired. What's brewing beneath the surface? The JLP's Marsha Smith resigns, and suddenly there's a by-election. Matthew Samuda steps in, but the PNP boycotts the election altogether. What will happen when Phillips pushes for reform and demands that the Electoral Commission of Jamaica takes control of the by-election process? Stay tuned to see if Phillips can hold Holness accountable. The Portia initiative. Can Mark Golding save the day? Enter Mark Golding, leader of the PNP, channeling the legacy of Jamaica's first female prime minister, Portia Miller. He's got a plan, a grand infrastructure overhaul dubbed the Portia Initiative. Jamaica picture zinc fences being torn down, concrete walls rising, sidewalks for the disabled, and affordable housing for the masses. It's bold, it's ambitious, and it's a direct swipe at the ruling Jamaica Labour Party, JLP. Golding promises that a future PNP government will restore the National Housing Trust to its core mandate and end the siphoning of funds meant for affordable housing. He even hints at balancing books and people's lives, a tribute to Sister P's values. But will this ambitious program be enough to win over Jamaicans disillusioned with low wages and poor infrastructure? Or is it another political pipe dream? Is Golding the leader who can revive the PNP and deliver on these lofty promises? Vybz Kartel return and a nation in suspense. With Vybz Kartel's powerful fist-raising moment at the PNP conference, we're left with the question: what role will this newly freed dancehall kingpin play in shaping Jamaica's political future? Will Kartel become a face of the youth movement Buchanan spoke about, or will he continue his silence but ever-powerful influence from the sidelines? Meanwhile, the PNP's leadership is battling on two fronts. Within the party and against the JLP, Golding's Portia initiative could transform Jamaica's infrastructure, but only if the party can rally support in the face of the JLP's strategic by-election moves. Phillips calls for electoral reform adds another layer of tension. Will Holness respond, or will the political tug-of-war intensify? PNP's secret weapon. Is Vybz Kartel the the key to political victory. Enter Vybz Kartel, freedom, fist, and a fire for the PNP. Jamaica, picture this. Dancehall superstar Vybz Kartel steps onto the stage at the People's National Party (PNP) conference. Fresh from prison after 13 years, behind bars, the crowd roars. But instead of a mic drop moment, Kartel remains silent. His clenched fist, a symbol of the PNP, says it all. His lawyer, Isaac Buchanan, a former PNP chairman, does the talking. We're fighting for the future, for freedom, for justice, and the Constitution. But here's where the drama thickens. Vybz Kartel's surprise appearance adds fuel to the political fire, with Buchanan declaring support for the PNP, President Mark Golding. We've got a high-stakes game of political chess. Yes, you heard that right. And Kartel's appearance, it's a checkmate waiting to happen. What will Kartel's next move be? Want more political drama? Will the PNP's bold moves pay off? Can Vybz Kartel shake up the status quo, or is the PNP destined for another defeat? Hit that subscribe button, drop a comment on your thoughts, and stay tuned for the next chapter in this ongoing saga. Here are the key takeaways from all of this. 1. Vybz Kartel's surprise appearance. Freshly released from prison, Vybz Kartel made a silent but powerful statement at the PNP conference, backing the party's fight for justice and freedom, with his attorney Isaac Buchanan vocalizing their full support for the PNP president Mark Golding. 2. By-elections drama. Dr. Peter Phillips called out Prime Minister Andrew Holness for selectively holding by-elections, criticizing it as disrespect toward Jamaicans lacking representation. Phillips is pushing for reform to take by-election control out of the PM's hands, adding tension to an already heated political climate. 3. Mark Golding's Portia initiative. Golding unveiled an ambitious plan to honor former Prime Minister Portia Miller's legacy by improving infrastructure, affordable housing, and land ownership. He's promising a transformation, but the big question remains: can the PNP deliver on these promises? Here are my final thoughts. The political saga in Jamaica is heating up with a complex mix of intrigue, tension, and promises of change. The stakes are high, and all eyes are on the next move of the PNP, JLP, and the unexpected wildcard Vybz Kartel. Here are some questions you might have, along with answers to address those concerns. Question number 1. How does Vybz Kartel's involvement in politics affect Jamaica's future? Answer. Vybz Kartel's influence on the youth and his endorsement of the PNP could energize a new demographic of voters, making his role significant. His presence is seen as a potential game changer, but it also raises questions about how much impact a public figure like him should have on politics. Question number 2. Is the PNP's Portia initiative just another empty promise? Answer. The Portia initiative is designed to improve infrastructure and housing across Jamaica, but its success hinges on the PNP winning the next election. While it sounds promising, the real question is whether they can deliver given the current political climate and the challenges they face. Question number 3. Why should I care about by-elections and how they're being handled? Answer. By-elections determine who represents you in Parliament. When they are strategically delayed or held selectively, it means some Jamaicans go without representation for long periods, which can affect the law and policies that impact everyday life. Question number 4. How does this potential drama impact my everyday life? Answer. The decisions made in Parliament, like housing reforms, infrastructure improvements, and representation, directly influence your quality of life. If the PNP delivers on its promises, it could mean better living conditions, but ongoing political maneuvering could stall progress. Question number 5. What's the bigger issue with the Jamaican political system right now? Answer. The larger issue is lack of trust. The delays in by-elections, the selective approach to holding them, and the broken promises from both parties have left many Jamaicans feeling disillusioned. The future of the country depends on fixing these issues and ensuring that leadership focuses on real change. Question number 6. Why should I care about Vybz Kartel's political stance? Answer. Vybz Kartel is a polarizing figure whose opinions can shape public discourse, especially among Jamaicans' youth. His support for the PNP could signal a shift in how younger generations engage with politics, which might change the political landscape in unexpected ways. Question number 7. Is there really hope for better housing and infrastructure in Jamaica? Answer. The PNP's Portia initiative promises real improvements, from tearing down zinc fences to providing affordable housing. But whether this vision can become a reality depends on political will and funding. The potential is there, but it's a race against time and competing priorities. Question number 8. What's at stake with these political moves? Answer. The stakes couldn't be higher. Jamaica's political future, social reform, and everyday lives are all on the line. The battle between the PNP and JLP, the influence of key figures like Vybz Kartel, and delayed elections are all a part of a larger struggle that will determine the country's direction. One love, Jamaica.